What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Transport, the car shipping business channel. My name is Jay. I'm your host. It is Friday. It is noon Central Time. That means it's time for Cars on the Move, where we connect dealers, auctions, carriers, and more, because this is growing. So thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, look at that live chat going crazy. David at Two Bears. March was a record-grossing month for me since starting in 2015. Wow, that's really interesting. David, that is good to know, because we're going to be talking about what's going on with volatility, tender rejections, trucking, etc. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me okay? Do me a favor while I'm checking the audio. Give me a like if you would. Click share, click copy, grab that YouTube link, text it, email it, share it on social media. Because what we're doing on Friday on Cars on the Move, this is our chance to not only share news, but diagnose what's happening in the industry. On Wednesdays, it's DOT. That's pretty specific. Thursdays, load boards, mobile apps. But on Fridays, we're looking for contribution, which is why I think that this Friday show still confuses a few people as to what it is, what it's for. As I was just telling Tim, this show's for the automotive industry. And the automotive industry is tied into transportation. So to me, it's a no-brainer, but we'll get there. Let's check in with Ty. Ty, what's happening with you, man?
Not a lot. It's a beautiful day. Joplin, Missouri.
Wow.
I'm across the street from one of my favorite car dealers, and I wanted to, at some point in the show, I'll point some things out as to why this is one of my favorite car lots. It's a new car store, Roper Kia, Joplin, Missouri. Tustin Hatfield, general manager. They're a great company. They've been in the Joplin area for, I don't know, a long time. The name Roper, which ties into one of the things that I teach guys whenever you're talking to a car dealer. I always ask the guy that I'm talking to, how long have you been here? And the reason I ask that is because, is it a revolving door? If it's a revolving door, I may not really want to do business with that guy. There's usually a problem, right? This particular place, when they hire people, people stay here. It's a family, right? And Jay and I kind of make jokes about that, a family business, but this is real. And it means a lot to a vendor, which if you're a transport company, you're a vendor to a car dealer, right? So as we talk about relationships on Friday, that's my favorite thing to talk about, is this came up yesterday on Dispatching Live, and I got to thinking about it most of the day and decided we should talk about it. Because the show opened up yesterday with Sue talking about how many loads there were on the load board, but how much difficulty she was having trying to put together loads. So Jay and I were talking about it just before the show for a minute. I said, Jay, fill me in. Is this what I heard? Yeah, that's what you heard. Okay, well, it ties in really good with an article that I found. Do you have that article handy, Jay?
Yeah, I do. So here's what I want to do. Let's go back and get a run and start on this thing. First, I just want to, as we bring up the article, and trust me on this. Here, we'll get this run and start going. And I know it's hard for you to see. It is the melting block of ice. We do this once a month with Tim.
Ooh.
Okay,
yeah.
And we love talking about automotive trade shows. Man, I've got trade shows to talk about. And before I do, I just want to remind you, when I say back of the store, front of the store, Friday's Cars on the Move is kind of more a deeper dive into what it is we're talking about when we say that. Actually, that's where that saying came from on ATI, and I think Ty, I think you started it.
Yeah.
And also, when I say that the auction's a packed house, you find Ty having hot dogs in lane 8 with Tim Scoutelas. That also brings us back to what it is we're talking about, the melting block of ice, and that cars need to get moved, and it's at the auction and in the transport parking lot where you'll see the ecosystem as it's happening.
Yeah.
By the way, our friend Tim, he does give presentations, and I made a meme out of him because if you have a question, it's usually, dude, where's my car? And if you tell him something crazy, it isn't good. Also, I just want to remind everybody, we love to get feedback about what you're seeing when you connect dealers, auctions, and carriers. And this was sent in by an ATI fan of the buckets of keys at a dealership. This tells you a lot. These 5 buckets, boy, if I could just change my logo to these 5 buckets, I probably would. And then, because then the question is, Vroom or CarMax? And we say these things because if you think dealers and auctions don't have anything to do with transportation, I don't know what you're talking about. We go to auctions. It's usually just Ty, but I'm so excited to be with him on this one. And there's Ty, and he rolls his sleeves up. This guy was loading, and we connected with him, and he said straight up, it's not easy making relationships with dealers. He said it without any prodding. And so going live from the conference, from the automotive trade show, in the booth with automotive professionals, we are really raising the transportation conversation, and we're excited about it. That's why we're super excited to continue talking about what we just did last week. This was our booth at Car Conference. This is awesome. It's a new level for ATI, and we love talking about it because we're growing, we're sharing. And then this huge room, we got 4 auto transport professionals up on stage. I was behind the podium. We had an hour. I'm telling you, make no mistake. What we're doing is working, we're growing, and we want you to come with us as we continue to grow. We were live at Car Conference. We were live at NADA. And then this is a map of the floor when we were at NADA. Ty's walking through the floor. Amazing footage on this thing. So good that Tim, on his own show, Live from the Back Lot, he interviewed Ty, using some of the footage from ATI on his show. Awesome. I love great collaboration. And I want to say this. That's the thing. If you want to collaborate with ATI, don't wait for us. Grow your own business level. Put yourself out there. Because collaboration is a handshake. I'll tell you what, I've been in media a long time. And anybody that waits for me to help them, no, nobody waited for and helped grow your own business. And then, if you're growing something, that's when collaboration happens. But if you're waiting for somebody to do something, no, that's not collaboration. I'm just saying it because it's important. Car Global to sell Odessa, we did this show. If you're not focused on what Car Global selling Odessa to Carvana means to the industry, it's like the collaboration thing. If you're not going to help yourself, I don't know how to help you. Please pay attention. I know, right? What is Jay doing? I don't feel well, and we say this stuff privately because it's true, man. It's going to get rougher. Hang on. Hold on. We're going to be Tuesday night, we're going to do an Auto Intel Summit Energy show because Auto Intel Summit's the next show Ty's going to go to. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are like, who cares? If it's not Mid-America Trucking Show, I don't go. Okay. All right. That's an option. But then we get this. This is why we get these questions. I need training. Who do you recommend for training an individual who wants to start as an auto transport broker? Ty, how do you even get started with an answer on this? Where do we? I mean, I'll jump in. Where'd you get that idea?
Yeah.
Where did you get the idea to even ask this question? Because wherever you got that idea, I would go talk to them.
Yeah. That's a rough one.
Right? Because I
got that phone call this week, by the way.
Right.
I really did.
Oh, I believe it. I'm almost done here. We saw this map on the wall at Car Conference, and I messaged Caitlin. I messaged her yesterday. Hey, can I get a copy of the map? She sent it over to me. So now we have a copy of this map. Remember this? 39 auctions stronger?
Yeah.
So now we can see all the cities?
Yeah. There was some other breaking news with Caitlin. She's in that. I saw it on LinkedIn today. She's moved way up the ladder.
Oh my gosh. And the fact that she sent me the map, oh wow, so cool.
She's good.
You sent this image too. We'll talk about something like this. Okay, so let's go into, before we get to that, let's go into this. This was where Ty was, and let's do this as we start. Let's bring in Tim as we enter the talk about this, because he will find this really interesting. Hey, Tim, we just added you. We just threw you in. Ty found this article. Before we do that, hey, Ty.
What's happening?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. Like, I'm all over the place.
Good to see you guys.
How are you,
Hey.
man?
I'm great. Glad everybody made it back from Vegas okay.
Doing good. That was good.
You know, just stuff keeps happening, right? I mean, it just keeps on
Doesn't
going.
stop.
The world keeps on giving to automotive, doesn't it?
Yeah. By the way, your ACV party was great. Thanks for the invite.
I should send over Jay some of the video that maybe he can do something with that. There's a clip or two of you not doing anything wrong, but it's pretty good. So yeah. Good times.
Of me or Ty?
No, Ty.
Oh, from NADA. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it over. That'd be great. And if
yeah,
we need to Dropbox it, we can do that too.
Yeah. So good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on, as always.
Thanks
I
for
really
coming
appreciate it. Great show on Tuesday. Love seeing my brother Smacy V. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. If you missed I'll go to camera one. If you missed Tuesday night, I'm going to share the link right now in the live chat. But Ty, take it away. What's going on with this article, man? What are you doing?
Well, this is interesting. This is an article from a freight guy. So I'm not a freight guy. I'm a car guy. But as I was reading the article, it's kind of long, but as I was reading it, it started like, wait a minute. I think this guy's made several predictions in trucking that were accurate, very accurate. 2019, 2020, he said there's going to be a big problem in the trucking industry for capacity. You're losing truck companies, truck drivers, you're losing. So good luck getting anything moved. So as I'm reading this article, he's talking, of course, about his predictions and how accurate they were. Then he starts sliding into his next prediction, which is nobody wants to talk about it, but we're getting ready to see another problem with transportation. He's again talking about freight. All I talk about are cars. So as I'm reading this ties into yesterday's Dispatching Live, because Sue opens up the show and she says there's 45,000 loads on the load board, and she's having a terrible time trying to put anything together. So I'm like, wait a minute. This guy's saying the same thing, which is they use in freight, they use the word tender and rejection, I believe. Tender, I believe, is accepting the load, and rejection, of course, is I don't want the load. So apparently, if I'm reading the article right, there's a lot of rejections going on. Is it because of the price? Is it because we're losing people? This guy, I believe what he's saying, again, I'm not a freight guy, but I believe he's saying transportation as a whole has a huge problem, and it's getting ready to get worse. So slide over into Ty, Tim, Jay land, how to grow your own car hauling company, how to pay attention to what's going on. This is why I love having Tim on the show, because Tim's going to answer some questions for us, I'm pretty sure. If we can all agree, which I think, Tim, can we agree that the new car manufacturers and new cars as a whole are going to have a problem at least until 2023? Is that fair?
Fair enough.
And the problem is going to be we don't have any cars to put on. We got cars laying everywhere, just minus chips. But sorry, you can't have the cars. So there's a shortage, new car.
Yeah,
you see that?
I think, I think the chip shortage is just like one piece. I mean, we are really seeing how fragile of a, supply chain, how fragile the real supply chain is. I mean, the smallest, you're only as strong as the weakest link, right? And we are really exposing a lot of weak links right now. Yeah. And I think you're about to say, what are those weak links? What are they?
Yeah. What do you got?
I mean, people, right?
Yeah, people.
We turn on CNBC and they're talking about the Great Resignation, right? You got people are sick. It's easy to call out sick these days, right? Anybody do that? You got you got a war.
Yep.
Right.
Inflation.
We got inflation.
Gas.
There's just so many, gas. There's just so many things that are going into it. And heck, I'm going to throw this one at you. This is probably its own little show, but autonomous driving. I mean, there's all these pressure.
Man, no,
wait.
See, that's the one. I actually, I don't talk about it on purpose.
Okay.
Because I don't want to freak everybody out.
Okay.
But like they're totally working on it.
No one watches this show anyway.
I know,
so
right? Okay, yeah, right.
So we can talk about it here.
Oh man, thank God.
My brother in Pennsylvania, he's the only one watching, so don't worry.
Okay, good. All right, good. And he is a robot, so we're good.
Yeah, we just listen. I think we would all agree we needed a little bit of a reset. It's just we're getting to this reset a little differently than we have in the last couple of resets, right? When we had in 2008, when we had the Great Recession, everybody kind of saw that coming, and it happened real fast, and we kind of recovered. This pandemic thing kicked it off, and it's kind of lingering like a bad cold.
Yeah. So, okay, you're in dealerships pretty much every day, right?
Yeah.
New car stores?
Yeah,
franchise?
mostly new car franchise. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you look on the lot and you see less new cars.
They're non-existent.
And then I'm assuming you see a bunch of used cars.
The used car inventory, and we could look at the slides. They're healthy. They're fine.
They're healthy, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're buying used cars
on
the lot. So the next question.
The
go ahead,
CPO,
Jay.
did they just extend the CPO to 10 years? Did you see that?
Honda was kind of getting ahead of the game here. They've added a third layer to their certified program. They've got to incentivize these dealers to keep the cars in the family. So,
but this is where I think it gets tricky. This is the problem I'm having. Used car inventory. If I'm following, say, Black Book, our friend Paul Machine, right? You read Black Book reports, Mike Buchanan, Black Book reports. They're basically saying the price of the used car right now is still high.
Still high. We could pull up the slide right now. It has.
Let's do it.
So it hasn't changed. All right, it hasn't changed much. Hold on, let me get it right over here, because I knew we were going to get here with this. Right? That's just funny that you brought this up. So you guys can see that.
Yeah. Thank you.
The purple line. Here's where we ended up last year. Right here on the purple line. So
wow.
So a $10,000 car, essentially on January 1 of 2021, was worth $15,000 at the end of the year. Like crazy. That's the simple math. Now, the green line down here, I'm going to try and make it a little bit bigger. Oops. Let's make it bigger. This green line down here, this is 2022. And we've come down. Well, we were all the way up here.
What?
Last year, right? Now this is the depreciation from week one, right?
Okay.
Week over week.
Okay.
Index.
Right.
So even though the index is falling down, this is where we ended up last year.
It's down. Right. Okay. Fair.
So we're looking at a more normal, right? So green is 2022. This was 2020. This was 2019. I like to think of 2019 as the last normal year. I wish they would throw they threw 2009 in here, which I just mentioned. 2018, which is what I was going to talk about here in a second. 18 and 19 are the last normal years.
I agree with that.
We're kind of on a normal track from 19. In fact, we've depreciated slightly ahead of what we were in 2019. But we finished the year so freaking high. Essentially, that $15,000 car now is worth $14,700, $14,500.
Huh.
Let me share this with you. Can I jump to this other slide?
Yeah, that's 150%, isn't it?
So I ran the sales results for my top 10 dealers. Okay, ran 10 dealerships, and I wish. Is there a pen? I'm gonna try and go pen on us here. I don't know. That might not work. You guys see this?
Right here? Yeah. Good.
Okay. That was retail sales in March of 2021. Okay. These 10 groups sold 10,216 cars. So far, my early returns for March, so 1 year later, right? They dropped 20, almost over 2,000 cars. So we are back to more normal, 2018 numbers. It's between 2018 and 2019. Look, so last year, right, we were at 10,000, 9,000. I mean, it was a great spring and summer.
Well, is that when the stimulus came out?
It was just dealers had cars. We were here on price.
Dealers had cars. Okay.
Dealers had cars. We were here on price, right? As prices went up, the consumer got out. Well, how do I erase all here? Clear. There we go. Can we just do clear? Now, I don't know. I might be in a pickle here.
Hit the rewind button.
He's in a graphical pickle.
How do I clear?
That is great.
How do I stop drawing? Erase.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
There you go. That's working.
Okay, great.
There you go.
So this shows here my same 10 random dealers. We talk about profitability. And I know that in general, my brother who watches this show, he don't want to hear about how much money the dealers are making. It's probably frustrating for him. But, look at where they were 2018, 2019, all in $2,500 was pretty good, right? We're seeing over $4,000 profit per unit. So even though we're not selling as many cars, we're still making a ton of money.
Still have the profit. Yeah, right. And that again has to do with.
Oops. Yeah, like that, huh?
Right on. Hey.
Whoa.
We got
the alarm's going off.
Graphics and dogs. And so that profit margin, right, because the value has gone up so high, even though you have lower inventory. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, there's increased demand. I mean, there's no new cars. This is just used cars, right? So we're filling the void for the missing new cars that we were just kind of talking about.
By the way, I want to get to this question before I forget. Silverman asks, why are dealers using Kelley Blue Book instead of NADA?
I think a dealer is going to use a book that tells the best story for their consumer. Books are pretty regional. I know that on the West Coast, KBB is king. And in the Southeast, Yellow Book, I call it because it's called JD Power now, but NADA is pretty popular here on the East Coast. I don't know. It's pretty regional.
Midwest is usually Black Book, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if he's referring to the consumer side or the the wholesale side, but at the end of the day, the books are pretty regional.
Well, then follow-up question, why is there such a disparity in valuation between the two?
Depends on where they get their data. So Black Book relies a lot on auction data. And I just had this conversation with a bunch of ACV folks this morning. Auction data today, and I'd love to have a conversation with Paul about this because auction data historically has been a reflection of the retail market. Dealers would go there and buy cars so they could retail them to consumers. Well, we have new players in the auction field. We have Avis, we have Hertz, right? We have Enterprise. They're buying cars not to retail. They could give a crap about retail. They need that asset so that they can rent it and generate revenue. So although they're willing to pay more than what a guy who's buying for a retail extra trade. So it's inflating some of these book values. So again, it depends on where the guys pull their data.
That was an awesome explanation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. Actually
Nice.
learned a lot there.
I understood it. Yeah.
I did.
Wow.
That
Good
was
job,
cool.
Tim. So, but here's go ahead.
I just was going to do while we're talking. So Ty, keep going with where you were at because one of the problems is I was going to say as in freight is a sister of cars. So, but keep going, Ty.
Well, okay. So Tim's laying it out real clear. If I'm following Tim right, Tim's saying we're not selling as many cars as we did, which, Tim, does that mean you have less cars on the lot, or do you still have the same number of cars on the lot?
So dealer inventory retail on the used side is back to 2018, 2019 levels.
Which is down or up?
Which is down. Well, it was down from last year.
Okay.
Right?
So
but the turn is slower. They're not selling them as quickly.
Okay, so I'm going to interpret that into car hauler. I want to own my own business, or I own my own business, and I can't figure out why my phone's not going off the hook and why I don't have 20 days worth of cars to move. This might be why you're not as busy as you were, because the turn, Tim, go ahead, explain the turn. That's the cars on the lot. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how many times is a dealer turning his inventory on his lot? So he's got 100 cars, right? If he sells 100 cars a month, he's carrying 100, he's turning his inventory 12 times. That's decent, right? Some guys carry 100 and sell 120 or 130, right? And now we're turning our inventory 13, 14 times a year. The guy carries 100 and only sells 80, right? So now he's only turning it 8 times a year. He's a little bit slower. They're just right. He's holding on to it because he can't go out and replace it. It's too expensive, right?
Or there could be other contributing factors that we might want to pay attention to, which might be consumer spending. Maybe consumer spending, I can't really go get a new car right now because I can't afford to get rid of mine. The price is too high to go buy another one. My electric bill's high, my food bill's high, and my gas is high. So really, I need a car. I would like to have a different car, a newer car, but there's no reason for me to even think about it right now. I honestly, this is no joke. I really know 3 people right now that literally just said what I said.
So the average price. So I just got a text message from a really smart guy last week. Actually, it was on Monday morning. The average prices of used cars that are 10 years old or newer, so that's a 2012 or newer, have risen 37% overall on average since March of 2021. That's a lot. The average consumer they're exhausted of the high prices, but the dealers are still making money. So it's hard. The dealers, I'm like, well, I'm still making $4,000 a copy. How am I going to wholesale
it? Well, that's okay, but I'm just speaking to this from a vendor perspective as a transport guy. That dealer, I want my dealer to make money and sell cars. That's the only reason I exist. I want him to make money. I want him to buy cars. I want him to sell cars. If I understand my dealer, and by Tim coming on and taking time out of his schedule to explain to us, here's what I see. I see we're selling less. We're still making the same money. Okay, I'm excited because you're still making money. I'm not so excited because that means you're not using me as much as you would or used to. Is that right?
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not up to me to get upset about that. I'm still your biggest fan, and I still want you to make a good gross. And if I have that relationship with you, my expenses are being covered because I have a relationship with you. This came up yesterday on the show, Dispatching Live, where several people got their authority, got their truck, got their insurance, got their trailer, ready to go to work, but can't get on the load board. And I'm sitting there banging my head on the car door. I'm like, bam, bam, oh, like that. I'm like, where in the book does it say you can't move a car if you don't have a load board, right? What are you doing?
Right.
Sorry, I get a little excited about that. My bad. Did I spit on the camera?
Well, and not to mention, I don't know why this is the case, I guess because of the Great Resignation, but that load board that makes you bang your head against the camera isn't even signing people up for 90 days.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying, the reason that Cars on the Move is different than maybe your other shows is because we're really looking at the business aspect of this. So when I hear stuff like what Tim's saying,
this is the laboratory, the transportation laboratory. This is it. Put on your lab coat. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go talk to the next dealer and the next dealer and the next dealer. So my goal in life is to have 20 to 40 to 500 car dealers that call me exclusively to move their cars. And the reason I want that is because it goes up and it goes down. And right now things are going up, but at the same time, things are slowing down. It's really weird, right, Tim?
Yeah, there's everybody's on edge, ready for it to explode because you talked about it. There's tons of cars sitting on the sidelines ready to be sold. So it's like, I gotta hang on. How much can I? So you've got to work. Hey, I hate to say it, and I had this conversation with one of my employees this morning. It's called work for a reason. We got to work, man. It ain't fun is what you do on Saturdays and Sundays or play, right? So,
Right.
I think and coming in places like this and getting ideas about how to be a little different and looking at your business model and is a great way to start and putting yourself out there. Jay, I loved how you started the show, man. You just, you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
It ain't easy.
And it's not easy. And that's it. Even that guy in the Transform parking lot, it wasn't easy. But I want to ask this. But how is consumer inventory, consumer vehicle acquisition, is that still high on the rise?
Oh my God.
Right?
Out of control. Yeah. So it's the only place a dealer can go now. So going to the auction is a crapshoot, right? I talked about how non-retail entities are entering the auction environment, driving up price. So those guys, be careful, because I think it's only a matter of time, are not going into the driveways. Consumer studies have proven customers like dealing with their local dealer. They actually would prefer to deal with the guy whose name is on the back of my kid's Little League jersey. As long as they can get the same experience and treatment and truth and transparency that they do at a CarMax or a Carvana. Consumer acquisition will, again, be at the forefront. I'm sure Paul Machine is like flipping in his chair right now, is talking about this, but
you're right.
Yeah, right.
His
I mean,
ears
yes,
are burning,
it is the number
Paul
one.
loves this.
If you're not a dealer and doing it, I guarantee you every dealer in the country is considering that strategy and working on it today.
And in fact, because Ty was getting pretty spun out because he was talking to a guy that talked about hitting the volume of vehicles they're acquiring from consumers monthly, and it's off the charts.
Oh yeah, no, I've got a group that I work with. They're doing almost 1,000 a month directly from the consumer. Now they've been doing it for 5-6 years now. They're way ahead of everybody else. If you're just getting into the game, heck,
so
if you could do 10 a month, that'd be fine.
All right, so how do they get them? Do you know what that looks like? The logistics of getting them?
Getting the cars from the customers?
Yeah, so I mean, do they show up and get in the car? Does the consumer drive it to the dealership?
So
what are the logistics?
Right.
Yeah,
it's all in the process. So the tools that we sell with Max ACV and the company we now acquired called Drivably, we give the customer the option. Hey, Mr. Customer, we're going to offer you $30,000 for your vehicle. You want to get this done really, really quick. The best thing to do is to come into the store and take care of this right now. If you're not in a hurry and time is on your side and you need some convenience, we'll set up an appointment to have somebody come out there, look at the vehicle, and we'll pick it up for you. So we let the customer decide. Hey, you want to get this done now? Come to the store. If you're not in a hurry, we can set it up and we can come out and pick the car up for you.
Okay, Drivably.com. And I've heard of that before. Now, Drivably.com. And there's many. Why Drivably? Tell me more about Drivably.
So Drivably is a company that ACV acquired late last year that focuses on helping dealers acquire more cars directly from the consumer. Now, the thing that makes ACV, I make this a big commercial about ACV and Max, but the difference between ACV and a lot of the other online auctions is its inspection process. So we're working together with Drivably, putting the process of buying cars from consumers, but building real powerful inspections. Because the problem is, right now, it's the process to sell your car. If you're a consumer, and if you saw my workshop at NADA, you'll know, buying or selling your car online today does not match the in-store process. Max, Drivably, and ACV are working to really streamline that and picking the car up. So you had those guys on Tuesday night, the guys getting involved with that ACV carrier app. ACV is buying more cars from the consumer than ever before, and they've just started. So big things to come.
So all right, so if let's say
Whoa, wait. Whoa, time out, wait. Did you just say ACV is buying cars?
So the ACV family of businesses, Max Drivably, is going to be in the consumer acquisition. They're going to help dealers acquire cars from customers. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's big news. Did I miss that somewhere, Jay?
Well, I don't know if it was news or not, but I mean, I would assume,
To me, that sounds like big news.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, right on, Tim.
Cool.
It's that'll be a big push the second and third quarters, and I think by the end of the year, we will have a full suite of products that literally the consumer will be able to. And this is a product we're going to offer to our dealers. Send a link to the customer. They fill out a couple of questions. They take pictures of their cars. We'll give them an offer. And then if they want to connect, take the dealer up on that offer. We'll help them arrange transportation. If the dealer doesn't want the car, ACV will help them auction it off. Or they'll help them transport it back to the dealership.
Wow.
See, I'd be surprised if ACV didn't open like a coffee shop. Because at this point, I mean, ACV's in everything now. So, and when you are waiting for your car, you need coffee. Therefore, you've got ACV coffee.
Yeah, right. They really just want to help dealers acquire and manage their inventory more effectively. And clearly buying cars from consumers is one of those places. They're not just a wholesale company anymore.
You can see it right now. Oh, man, I need some coffee. I'm going to call Jay at ATI. He's got some ACV coffee.
Yeah, right.
Let's go live with Jay. Okay.
Well, to me, this is where it ties into transportation again, to bring it back around, because that's all I think about and talk about, right? I'm the guy standing out in the parking lot. And I'm thinking, okay, if I own a lot of trucks, or if I own one truck, let's do I own a couple of trucks, maybe two. Maybe I don't have a big customer base. If I'm paying attention, I'm going to go find ACV now. I'm going to go find probably a Carvana relationship somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm going to latch onto those guys, and I'm going to run as many cars for them as I can.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm seeing you guys and the way I'm seeing Carvana, and again, nobody's paying me to say this. I'm just a transport guy. But if I don't have the balls to go make a relationship with my customer and service him, and I know I'm not going to do that because of whatever reason I made up in my head, I'm going to tell anybody I know, go sign up with ACV, go sign up with Carvana. Maybe Cars Arrive, since it's now Carvana, but this is what I'm telling you. There's a shift towards this. So if I'm already an established carrier and I already have relationships, customers that call, I better be paying attention, because as my dealer that I've been servicing for the last 10, 15, 20 years, is he changing the way he sources used car inventory? This is really important for you to know, no matter who you are in the car hauling business. That's what I'm trying to explain. Is that fair?
No, you're spot on, dude.
Dude,
spot
and you
on.
Actually just asked a good, what is Cars Arrive now?
I
don't even know. I don't know. But I do want to ask this, is that, okay, and the consumer, just want to hit it again. If through Drivably, if you, the new owner of the vehicle, because the consumer sold it, who goes and picks it up? Is a towing company doing this? Who's doing that work? Do you know?
It varies from dealer to dealer, right?
Okay.
The product is offered to franchise dealers who work, in their neighborhoods. So again, hey, Mr. Customer, you want to get this done quickly, run it down to the dealership. We can get this transaction completed today. If you want us to, come out to your place of work or pick it up at your house, it's going to take us a couple of days. And, every dealer is different, right? Maybe they send some drivers out. Hey, but hold on.
I know. No,
there's every dealer that sells that car, right, to somebody 300 or 400 miles away, and I got to pick up their trade. And the internet is really expanding a dealer's audience to sell cars to and buy cars from. So,
and this is why. See, you just hit it. Every single dealer out there is gonna need a guy.
Yeah.
In case he needs a transport.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And these cars aren't going to make it to a load board yet. Not yet.
Well, they don't want them to.
Right. No. The dealers, he don't want to deal with that.
So here's the last question I've got for you. When new car inventory is gone and we only have used cars, a used car is a used car. So how do we shuffle? You don't make more used cars, right?
Well, the sale of every new car creates a used car.
Exactly. So where are we at with new car sales year to date?
They're going to be down.
compared
New car SARs now trending 2 million below the projected. So we're going to be at like what, 15 million, which is 14.7 million. It's going to be bad. It's going to be a bad year for new cars.
It's gonna be a rough year. Yeah.
When you get Jonathan Smoke on, man,
Yeah.
I'd love to be a guest when you have Jonathan on because I love that guy. Pin him
Oh.
down on new car.
You know what? I love that idea because he's going to come back. We
He's
were
a good
actually
dude.
just working on. It's probably going to be June,
That's fine.
but that
He's a-
is
I
a
love
great
watching the shows
idea.
with
And
him.
Ty's going to be there too, so maybe we'll do like a melting block of Jonathan or something.
Yeah,
Smoke.
but
A melting block
he-
of smoke. Yeah.
yeah, Cox Automotive just revised their new car sales prediction for 2022. It is an automotive news too. You'll see this. I think it was posted again this week, Jay. You know, the chips have affected 2 million cars this year already.
Yeah.
That
And
is
see,
crazy.
that's what Paul Machine, I mean, he's talking about it. And Paul Machine was the first, and I'm not saying you weren't talking about it before Paul. I don't know who was talking about it first, but
Right.
first I heard talking about buying cars out of driveways was Paul Machine, and I thought the guy was crazy. I thought he had lost his mind.
Nope.
And it's happening. That's the new trend. So,
Yeah.
and I was thinking this morning, I was like, all right, we always complain as transport guys about you guys are making all the profit and you're not sharing it with us. We're out here doing the hard work and you guys are taking all the money. That's a conversation for another day. But the reality of it is I was thinking, because we had on a guy, big guy, and consignor kind of a guy we were talking to. He was talking about if I could just save a little bit of money on transportation. Right?
Oh, I know. They always do that. They're like, well, I got yachts and I've got concert tickets. Is there any way to save money on transportation? Me and
But,
Ty are like, what are you talking about?
Well, we are, but at the same time, I think there are legit people that do legit business that really have legit expenses that we know nothing about. Just because a guy says, I made this much profit, okay, Tim, is that profit gross before expenses or is that profit after expenses?
Right. So that's before expenses. Yeah.
So, now we got record profits, gross, which has always been weird to me. Why do car dealers always talk about gross?
But the word profit is being used. It's not record revenue, it's record profits. Isn't that what we hear?
Yeah, profits are what I mean. If gross is up, profits are up. It's the rent factors still remain the same. Electricity might be up, utilities are up a little bit. So now we're seeing labor is really starting to rise. We have to pay people more, but at the end of the day, it isn't outpacing what gross is bringing in. So.
That's where I always try to have a little grace because I've never owned a dealership and I don't know what the expenses are. So I'm sure it takes a lot of money to run this place behind me. I know that. A lot.
No, and I know you're right. But
real quick, so guy in the chat, Silver Mint, I do want to he's got a great point. He asked the question.
Yes.
Okay, let's make sure. ACV is not buying the cars from the consumers, right? ACV is providing the tools to dealers to help acquire more cars from customers. I want to make sure that that's clear. So, ACV is not going running into people's driveway. But that's not what you thought, right, Ty?
Actually, it is. That's the way I interpret it.
No.
I'm glad you cleared it up. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Which I can see that would make sense. Why not? You guys buy the cars, and if nobody wants them, throw them in the back lot and sell them.
Hey, right.
ACV.
Right. I'm a Toyota dealer, and a customer wants me to trade in a beat up old Chevy truck. We will help the dealer acquire the car, and if they don't want it, ACV will help them dispose.
So tell us this about Max Digital and ACV. From my opinion, and I don't know, I haven't seen the map. If they've got one, I'd love to have Jay get a hold of it. But ACV auctions, in my brain, when I hear that, I think, say, from about Missouri east. That's where you guys are really strong. Is that true? Or
so ACV got its start. Right, it's a Buffalo-based, New York-based company. It's got its core in the New York area, but the big shift, big push in 2022 to expand west. I've been on the West Coast. I was there last week, and I'll be in Seattle next week. We've got a lot of stuff happening on the West Coast right now.
Okay. So there you're moving, growing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. Okay. And then so that's the ACV, which is we can come to your lot. We'll have the auction at your lot. We'll get the car off your lot, right?
Yeah. Right. They help dealers dispose of, unwanted inventory, whether it's aged retail or immediate, unwanted wholesale cars. Or, they'll help get bids on customer trades.
I want to show you something. I'm glad you're here because you'll appreciate this. Give me just a minute. It's going to be a little tricky, but we're going to try it. The reason I'm here at this dealership is because I love their setup. So what Tim just said, the cars that nobody really wants, I don't know if you can see them back there. Okay, see that fence? Those are what Tim's talking about. Those are wholesales, trades, old inventory, whatever we don't want. If you go over here, see this little building right here?
Recon?
That's what that is, recon. Whoops, not the railroad tracks. So there's your recon. Okay, so you pull your truck in, right there, see that driveway?
Yeah.
So I'm bringing cars in or I'm pulling cars out. This is why I love this place. It's so cool. Set up perfect for car hauling. So this field right here, if you got too many trucks in the way, see the field?
Yeah.
You can park there and wait your turn. Okay, next we go over here. See that little building right there? See it?
What do you do there?
That's your used car department.
Oh,
good job, Tim. I knew Tim would know that.
Yeah.
Okay, now, see this right here? Look right there. See those bays? What's that, Jay?
Was that new car service?
Service.
That's
your service department. Now, back out. There's your showroom, all the new cars. So there's some things here that I love to point out. My favorite dealerships always have a flag. I know that they're good people. If you see the American flag in the front of the dealership, you're set. They got a lot of inventory. They've got a used car inventory. Their lot looks full. The detail recon's popping. If you go back behind the service, I was back there earlier, you got the PDR guy banging dents out, touching up paint. So anyway, point being, I love this location because they do it, and they've actually used backlot cars. They've done auctions. I've transported hundreds and hundreds, thousands of cars.
Who is this guy again? What dealership is this? What Kia store?
Roper Kia.
Okay, cool.
Family owned. They got the Honda
Shout out to Roper
here.
Kia.
Yeah, look here. You might be able to see their Honda
Joplin,
store down
Missouri.
the street.
Nice. There you
Can
go.
you see that blue sign way down there?
Yeah, there's the Honda store, yeah.
Yeah, and then across the street, we got the old Ford boys. Wait till you see this.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, this is... Oh, hang on. Wrong button. By the way, this is a pretty good commercial for the lens on your camera, dude. Wow. Is that an iPhone?
Yeah.
Right? With the three, looks like a Norelco, like you could shave and take a photo. Yeah.
Yeah. So these dealers, smaller town, small community, it's growing community, but the reality of it is, and there was another used car lot right there, I forgot to point out. So I went down to the Honda store. I know that guy. I talked to him before the show. I went through his lot. I counted 3 brand new Hondas. I don't know what's going on with Honda. I told him I'd come back. I got to get to the bottom of that.
Honda stores aren't going to have any inventory. They're being incentivized to not carry new car inventory. They're being incentivized. That's how Honda wants to run it. So you're not going to see a lot of inventory at a Honda store.
Wow.
Go to a Chrysler store.
Can we get some opinions on what you just stated?
I mean, it's the fact. They're incentivizing dealers to sell out. So. Yeah.
See, I knew something was up, and the reason I knew that was about 3 years ago at a conference, I saw 2-3 guys that used to be big Honda guys that aren't at Honda anymore.
Yeah.
And they all didn't really have anything to say. Like, they just kept their mouth shut. And I was like,
they kind of, the new car manufacturers are kind of like in this environment. It's proven the fact that you don't have to, a dealer doesn't have to have 300 cars in their lot to sell 150. They're selling 150, having 3, so it's so while we're only down 2 million cars, right, we're going to miss the new car number this year by 2 million. I mean, in the grand scheme of it, we're going to sell 15 million new cars, 40 million plus used cars. I mean, still a lot of transactions are going to happen. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like there's zero.
No, but it's
transactions
making
happening.
that coffee shop look pretty good.
Well, so that where I was going with all this is when you hear stories or people say, oh, and by the way, Jay, I thought of this too. Do you know the number of people that I talk to that want to get into car hauling on a weekly basis has dropped dramatically? Like,
What's your
too
take
bad.
on that?
It's too bad.
Are there less YouTubers?
I think that we're being too honest, is what I think. Some people
I
pump the
don't
brakes
think
a minute.
there's only 10 people watching though. There's
Yeah.
no way. I don't think we've affected the
my brother
pie in the
in
sky
my brother in
car hauling
Harrisburg
stuff.
doesn't want to get into hauling yet, so you're all right.
So that what I'm trying to say is that I and again, I don't know, and I'm not going to be Paul. I'm never going to be a Paul Machine. I'm never going to be the guy that wrote the article that predicts the future. But it is a little concerning, and the reason I say that is from a consignor standpoint. So if you still believe in auctions, physical auctions that have physical sales, real sales, where people come in, cars go, consignors, big consignors, make deals with auctions to get rid of their inventory, right, Tim?
Correct.
Okay, the consignor, in my opinion, is the one that controls everything from here down. That's just my opinion. They got the money, they got the power. I want the car picked up, I want it detailed, I want it sold, and here's the price. All in this amount of time. Maybe I'm wrong. What's your take, Tim?
Well, there's not as many cars coming back off lease, right? Because the cars that do come back off lease are staying at the dealership. Repos have been kind of pulled back. Even if there are repos, the market's been so high, right? The banks have had no problem disposing of the inventory on their own. Traditionally, right, they'd have to run them out to the auctions, get bids on them. We're just in a different time. I don't think that this is long term, right? It feels like it's going on forever, like the pandemic. I think by this time next year, by spring of 2023, we should be feeling a lot better. I know we've been saying that for a while, but it's different times.
So why spring of 2023? I like what you said, but tell us why.
We're gonna have there's a lot of work going on to just change the whole supply chain, right? I can assure you that these OEMs are not sitting on their hands waiting for some factory in another country to build the chips for them, right? They're designing cars differently. They're making adjustments. It just takes 3 to 5 years for these things to go into.
Well, and don't forget, if you go buy an EV, you can save $80 a month in gas.
Oh shit! Now you're going to turn this 1 hour, this 30-minute show into 2 hours. You're going to bring out the damn EVs. Jesus.
Sorry.
I think that's what they. I think
it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
At NADA, I think there was a side conference called "Bringing Out the Damn EVs." I think, right? Is that right?
Listen. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, here's where we're going to leave it. I'm ready to wrap it up. Are you ready, Tim? Jay?
I did. I got a call here at the top of the hour.
Yeah. This
Okay.
has got to
be
awesome.
Let's wrap it up. Great show. Here's what I'm going to say. What I always say: go talk to a car dealer. Where do you get your used car inventory, and how often do you do that? And how do you get it back?
Right.
If you go talk to that guy, he'll tell you, and then you can start making necessary adjustments. How's that?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Right
on.
on.
Here's my final thought.
Just talk to him. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, just talk.
Right.
Just
hey,
talk
man,
to him. And
bring the guy some hot dogs.
Silver Mint in the live chat saying, where can I find a parking lot to hang out in? Now, assuming that's an actual question, what's the answer, Ty? You're going to start wearing a T-shirt with your phone number on it.
That's right.
And when they call you, what's the first question? Well, where are you now? Right? What do you want to do? Where'd you get that idea?
Yeah. That's it. It's good. Good stuff, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Tim.
Tim.
Thank you, guys.
You,
all right,
Tim.
we'll see you
so much.
Hit me up if you're in Raleigh, Ty. We'll try and connect. All right. Have a good week.
I will. Yep, that'll be great. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see ya. Take care. I'm gonna let you go. That is the end. Peace out. Check. Mike 2. It's Cars on the Move. It is the transportation laboratory. And so I really do like the Friday show because it is different from the other ones. The Tuesday night show is to feature other companies, other industry thought leaders, sales executives, etc. in verticals and spotlight verticals and companies and automotive industry. Then we kind of bring it down on Wednesday. This is the, okay, so you're trying to grow and build your business and do it legal. Let's help you out. And that is a, gosh, huge. Brian actually sent me an email. He said, why do I feel like I'm answering questions I was answering 4 years ago? And the answer, I think, is you're always going to be answering questions for people at the starter level because it's so freaking complicated. So DOT, that'll go forever. Dispatching live, load boards, mobile apps, oh my gosh. There's always new information. If you missed Tuesday night's show where ACV said that they're developing their app so it will be open platform and you can use the ACV carrier app by ACV Transportation for loads beyond just ACV loads. And then Central Dispatch is still working on the load board, and man, there's just so much to talk about. And then on Fridays, Cars on the Move, connecting dealers, auctions, and carriers. And what I keep saying the transportation laboratory, because the other verticals, man, they drill down their data. They know all this stuff. Which cars are going to be most profitable and pricing and what's it going to cost to recon this and that. And I know that we know some of our costs. We know the insurance and fuel, but we don't have this well set up laboratory. And I want to get there so that we can pull out the charts and the graphs and, that we're looking at it from a numbers game. Because everybody else is looking at automotive as a numbers game. And in transportation, I know there are businesses that are. Those are the businesses we never hear from. By the way, why don't you make note? Here's the homework. Make note of the companies that you never hear from on this channel. Those are the companies that have their numbers. And what I'm talking about is, let's go with companies with 100 plus trucks. You should be able to name at least 5 of those companies. Then let's go with companies with 10 plus trucks up to like 50. You should be able to come up with like at least 10 of those companies. And then you've got your owner-operators, single owner-operators, which is about 80% of the industry. There you can name, you go to a truck stop and find 5 an hour. But my point is, what are those companies on the 100 plus trucks and the 10 plus trucks, those companies you never hear from? Do they know their numbers? I'm going to say they do. They are not on the how am I going to get rich car hauling videos. No. In fact, their drivers are in the Facebook groups upset with those owner-operators that are new and taking cheap freight. And so on ATI, we're looking at all of it. This is the Car Shipping Business Channel. We want you to chime in, do your homework, say hello, ask questions, keep checking in. If you are starting out, check in here. So you're not getting like pie in the sky nonsense that isn't going to be true. Don't give away your truck one bolt at a time. Thank you so much. Have a safe weekend. Stay safe, stay warm, and please do join us Tuesday night. It's another automotive trade show. So if you miss it, just watch it on demand. I'll put the time codes in the video description below. Tell your friends. Thanks for watching ATI, and I'll see you next week. Peace out, everybody.